Hunting the Fairy Tale by Millie.
Chapter 5 Home Sweet Home. Ryan Drake.
Honey, I'm home. Oh, hey, whoa, what? The second I step through the front door, I'm attacked by a hairball with a brain-splitting voice. This must be the Mayfair's dog, Splashy or Small Poop, something like that. Frankie is losing his stuffing in my arms. His excitement about the tiny, noisy animal is causing me to lose my grip on him. I fumble him down, until his feet touch the ground and he launches himself at the small dog. Careful, Flea, I caution, ready to intervene if the dog turns on my son, or if my son becomes too violent with the dog. The mutt runs off on nimble little feet, and Frankie, not as nimble, ends up on all fours, giving chase in a slip, slide, and crawl on the stone floor. Giggling happily, he regains his footing, and now he is running the wobbly run of an excited 17-month-old. Oh, hello. I'm Willow. Are you Frankie? A vision in floral print and hair, the color of warm honey, has appeared in the living area Frankie, the dog, and I are stumbling into. She looks as excited to see Frankie as the boy had been to see the dog. He decides to postpone his dog chase, mainly because the animal has crawled into a tight corner where my son cannot get at him. Instead, he launches himself at the pretty girl and gazes at her with large, adoring eyes when she picks him up. I know love at first sight when I see it. Willow is pretty. That is a simple, inarguable fact. She is really pretty. What on earth were Beth and I thinking when we made her bedroom the one next to Hunter's? We have literally housed this lovely girl alone on the ground floor with our almost grown-up, hot-blooded son. You don't bait a bear with honey and don't expect an invasion. You don't leave blobs of syrup lying around and not expect ants. You do not drop a pretty girl virtually in the lap of a hormonal young adult boy and not expect chaos. Granted, this was the best arrangement we could come up with. Clearing the storeroom downstairs next to Willow's room for Becca didn't seem practical, since Hunter and his gang are always rampaging in the bottom part of the house, turning the living area into a war zone. Beth and I usually hang out in the cozy living room on the upper floor. It made sense to have Becca with us. She'll be much more comfortable there, and she'll have her own bathroom. We also thought that leaving Willow downstairs would help her settle in with the young crowd faster. The girl could use all the friends she can get. I watch Willow chat with Frankie. She's enjoying the little boy as much as he is enjoying her, and he seems to be completely unaware of me loitering in the archway like a stalker. I must admit, though, I'm taken aback. The Willow I saw in the many pictures Beth was always showing me looked nothing like this whimsical, beautiful creature. The girl in the photographs looked like someone who would be able to handle Hunter and put him in his place if needed. She looked like someone who would hold absolutely no threat to my son, except maybe to give him detention. This Willow will drive him up the walls, and not in the way he's anticipating. He was ready to be irritated, annoyed, and aggravated. I know my son. This Willow is going to inspire other kinds of emotion in him. This girl might inspire him to misbehave. Then again, that might be a good thing because she might also inspire him to come to his senses. I'm being unfair. Hunter is a good kid, a decent, honorable young man. What the hell were Beth and I thinking? Willow finally notices me and all her sparkle evaporates in seconds. She gives me a wary look and a tight, nervous smile. I almost expect her to curtsy. Nobody has ever looked at me like this before. I don't like it at all. The girl seems terrified. Well, time to start teaching her all about fatherly love and kindness, something her life has been lacking since her father passed away almost 11 years ago. What does the ocean say when it sees the beach? I ask. Willow's terror is changing into confusion. That's always a good start. Nothing, it just waves, I answer, slowly waving my hand from side to side in greeting. She stares at me for a few seconds, her large eyes blinking in puzzlement. Frankie has no problem with my lame joke. He is happily performing a fast-forward version of my wave. Then again, he has always been my biggest fan. Just when I decide it's going to be even harder than I thought, the sweetest giggle erupts from Willow, and smiling a real smile, she finally waves back at me.
Willow.
Uncle Ryan came home from work shortly after I met Hunter. On his way home, he'd collected Frankie from his mother, where the boy had spent the day, to give Aunt Beth a chance to help us settle in. I'm thoroughly enjoying the little guy. He is a busy person filled with happy giggles and smiles. He seems to find everything around him extremely interesting. Right now, I am the most interesting thing in his world. It had been Little Piddle at first. The little dog is not used to toddlers and has fled somewhere to hide. I don't mind being the interesting item within Frankie's scope. I really enjoy cuddling him, but it is making the task of laying the table rather difficult. I put your trunk in your room, Aunt B. Aunt B? When did they become that friendly? I'm only vaguely aware of my mother thanking Hunter. My entire body has gone into rigor at the sound of his voice behind me. When I finally manage to prod it back to life, I spin around into a fragrant mist of soap and shampoo. The boy is close enough to bump into, and I take a hasty step back. Getting a good look at him, I almost drop Frankie in surprise. Hunter seems puzzled for a moment, and then he automatically reaches out and takes the boy, squirming to grab a hold of him. "What?" he finally asks, and to my mortification, I realize that what I'm doing is nothing short of gaping at him. I only need to become slack-jawed for my new image as a zombie to be complete. I did not realize that it was possible for you to be clean. It's becoming a habit, a rather annoying one, me opening my mouth and talking nonsense. And can I possibly sound more snobbish? Yeah, I'm tough and washable, Hunter confirms, grinning at me, and just like that, all the oxygen leaves my brain, and now I'm about to pass out. He is a picture of youthful health and well-being. His slightly damp hair is brushed into a relaxed side part, some of it covering his forehead. It is a little longer at the top, closely cropped from his ears downward. His hair is thick and healthy looking and delightfully clean, as is his face. Aside from a couple of faint scrapes and bruises giving him away, it is impossible to believe that he'd formed part of a killer horde only a short time ago. Those scrapes and his cocky attitude are also the only thing saving him from being called a pretty boy. At least to his face. He doesn't resemble his parents at all. Aunt Beth is short, voluptuous, and blonde with green eyes and full lips, while Uncle Ryan is tall and rather thin. He has light brown hair, though his hairline has started to recede a tiny bit. It is still thick, with a wavy fringe casually combed to one side. His kind eyes are blue and sparkling. He's quite handsome, even if he must be fairly old. In his 40s at least, judging by the fact that his hair is starting to turn gray around his ears. His smile is warm and endearing, and in the space of 10 minutes, he'd made at least 7 ridiculous dad jokes, which had me giggling and Aunt Beth punching his arm. I've never met someone quite like him before. I think I rather like Uncle Ryan. Genetics is not my strong suit, but is it possible for 2 of them to have a dark-haired son with broody brown eyes, who is sure to lure all the girls in the village when he plays his flute? Hunter is cuddling his brother with such gentleness that if it weren't for the broken skin on his knuckles, I would have been fooled into thinking that he is the proverbial good boy next door type and not a thug. Seeing him in close proximity to Frankie, the genetic differences are glaring. Frankie is rosy-cheeked and blonde with the brightest aquamarine eyes. He is a perfect mixture of his parents. But Hunter's eyes are a little melancholic, maybe because they slant downward ever so slightly at their outside corners. His thick lashes will make mascara companies feel redundant, and the tip of his nose is marginally tilted upward, just enough to make him seem a little cheeky. For some reason I have yet to understand, his lips keep drawing my attention. They look so incredibly soft. I'm horrified to see his eyes grow wide with alarm as he takes a step away from me. Did I lunge at him? I'm sure that I didn't, but my body, mind, and soul haven't been working correctly ever since my arrival in Briar Cove. I'm constantly feeling half afraid and half something else that I cannot put my finger on because I've never experienced it before. I'm overexcited, overstimulated. Seriously, girl, what? Frankie's drooling on you. I huff, turning away from Hunter before it can be exposed that I'm the one really drooling all over him, if it's not painfully obvious to all around us already. I busy myself with the cutlery I'd been gathering to set the kitchen table with when Frankie intercepted me.
Hey, spit boy.
When are those nasty teeth of yours all gonna be done coming in already, huh? I glance over my shoulder, relieved to see Hunter leaving the kitchen with his brother in his arms. Sighing, I turn back to my task and jump when I realize that my mother is leaning against the kitchen island, watching me. Her lips are twisted into a suspicious smile. "He is lovely, isn't he?" she remarks gently. "Yes," I blab, the abrupt admission startling me. "I think all toddlers are," I add quickly, racing over to the kitchen table before my mother can point out that she wasn't talking about Frankie. To my surprise, I can hear her laughing happily. When I'm finally done with setting the table, I leave the kitchen in search of little Piddle. I want to feed him properly before dinner, or he'll be a nuisance, but I have no idea where he is hiding. Instead of using the door connecting the kitchen to the hallway, I use the one connecting it to the large, open-plan living area, and come to an abrupt halt in the doorway. I am once again not entirely sure what I'm looking at. Hunter's legs and part of his pelvis are on the couch, and the rest of him is on the rug, on the floor. The top half of his body is covered with the fleece throw blanket, which earlier had been artfully draped over the back of the couch. Frankie is popping in and out of the blanket, squealing with laughter in his efforts to attack and avoid the blanket monster that is trying to get a hold of him. It is a truly endearing scene. Of course, I knew that boys sometimes play with their baby siblings, but I've never seen it happen in real life before. It is rather touching. My smile turns into a soft laugh when little Piddle suddenly appears from under the blanket as well. He runs along Hunter's lower back over his bottom and gets hold of one of his feet, happily pulling at the sock covering it. "Yow! Dude, mind your teeth. There's flesh and blood in there. Come on!" Hunter roars playfully, twisting his body into a variety of awkward positions to pull both the dog and the toddler under the blanket again. Flexible. More giggles from Frankie and happy noises from little Piddle burst from under the blanket. I watch for a few more mesmerized moments and then I slip back into the kitchen. I guess I'll feed the dog later.
Ryan.
Tonight, the house is even more lively than usual for a Monday night. After a day of dealing with microchips, circuit boards, computers, and calculations, coming home to chaos is nothing short of heaven. Today, I came home a little earlier. I'd considered taking the day off to greet the newest additions to our family, but then decided to give Beth a little time with her girls without me in the mix. If humanly possible, my wife is even more chipper and excited than normal tonight, and that says a lot. She'd been looking forward to today since the moment we'd heard of their plight and invited Becca and Willow to move in. I'm drinking coffee at the kitchen island, watching Beth make a salad with her best friend. She is chattering nonstop, smiling as if her face is going to split wide open. Seeing her this happy makes my heart overflow. Through the years, every time Beth managed to have a brief visit with Becca in Mount Sovereign, she cried for days afterwards. I've been racking my brain to find a way to help, but I simply didn't have the power or resources to go up against the Mayfair Empire. The biggest obstacle, though, was that Becca didn't want to be helped. Not because she was too stubborn or too proud to accept help. She'd simply been too afraid. She'd been terrified of losing her daughter completely. She was trapped in a world of power, money, and control that Beth and I couldn't even begin to comprehend. I guess she'd been trapped in that world for too long by the time I entered the picture. Letting go and grabbing hold of helping hands had become too hard for her to do by then. That world crumbling might be a blessing in the long run. After weeks of searching, no sleep, worry, and anxiety over what became of them, Becca finally reached out and grabbed the offered help. And here they are now, safe and happy as far as I can tell. Relief is a tangible guest in our home tonight. Becca grudgingly accepted my offer of a job, but insisted on starting at the bottom, because she intends to earn her place in my company. I respect her for that. But to be honest, when I interviewed her for the job, I found her to be sharp and intuitive, a perfect fit for my company. Her knowledge might be somewhat outdated when it comes to hands-on experience in the world of research and development, but she has certainly stayed on top of things theoretically. She did not let her degree in electronic engineering dry up and get blown away in the wind. It must have been hard not to be allowed to openly pursue her passion for more than a decade. She clearly has a knack for robotics and a deep interest in it. I believe that she will soon realize that she has a lot to offer, and that her position at Tech Stuff is not just a charitable handout. I'm genuinely looking forward to working with her. And then there's Willow. I smile at her when she turns away from the door leading into the living room, where she'd been standing for a while. She smiles back shyly and scurries away, leaving the kitchen through the door into the hallway. I saw her watch Hunter play with Frankie and the dog with a heart-rendingly wistful look on her face. She's quite a nervous girl, tightly wound and clearly not sure how she's supposed to deal with me. She has the look of someone used to being rebuked, constantly uncertain of her welcome and her worth. She is too obedient, too well-mannered, and too considerate. Yes, too much of a good thing being bad can be said of those good qualities as well. I hope that she will soon be able to truly relax and just be herself. Be a teenager, young adult, really. She is almost 17 years old already. I hope she'll soon be able to wreck the living room and her bedroom and the garden and the kitchen and the garage and anything and everything within her reach as expertly as Hunter always does. My heart swells with more warmth and love when my eldest son bursts into the kitchen. Frankie is laughing, dangling like a sack of flour under his arm, and the dog is dragging on the cuff of his sweatpants. Hunter is turning into an extraordinary young man. He's as strong as a bull and as mischievous as an imp, with a purity of soul hard to find in humans these days. He has the potential to become so many amazing things, if only he'd see it. I watch him grab the dog, carefully curling his free arm around its scrawny body. "Just taking out the trash," he says, grinning at me, and disappears to the back of the kitchen. From the explosion of shrieks and laughter I soon hear bursting from Frankie, I know that Hunter is putting his brother and the dog in the empty recycling bin. Yup, definitely an extraordinary young man. Coming home to chaos and mayhem is what makes my life worth living. And with a happy little grin of my own, I cross the kitchen to the sink where Beth is rinsing some leaves. She turns her head and kisses my cheek when I wrap my arms around her soft body from behind and nuzzle her neck, inhaling the subtle, comforting fragrance of her perfume. Honey, I'm home indeed.
How about some bloopers?
Frankly, Frankie's drooling on you.
Who is sure to lure all the girls in the village when he plays his flute? That line made me laugh. Oh, he's the Pied Piper. A little. I don't like that I was saying little, eh? Did you hear that? Little. What about a boot? A boot? He's quite handsome, even if he must be fairly old. Oh, Willow, it's not old. It's not old. I remember being young and thinking 20 was old. You're like, wow, they're so old. So mature.